Welcome to my bike journey on the Great Allegheny Passage and the C&O Trail. Follow along with me as I make my way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Washington, D.C. Today, on day 7, we pedal from Williamsport to Sharpsburg, Maryland. We'll ride 27 miles on the shortest day of the trip. We'll continue to head slightly downhill towards D.C. I'll cover the day's journey as well as a few interesting points along the way, including the Big Slackwater concrete trail almost on top of the Potomac. Good morning, day 7 on the trail, and the day starts off beautiful. The temperature is almost perfect. Leaving the Bay Farms bed and breakfast, it was a great stay. I was up there on that yellow building on the 3rd floor. It was very nice evening. So just leaving this morning, and it's going to be one of my shortest mileage days on the trail, just about 27 miles. So even though a short mileage day, it'll be pretty interesting. My destination this evening is Sharpsburg, Maryland, and that is right next to the Antietam battlefield. So I'll be able to visit the battlefield, which will be pretty neat. Some great Civil War history around here. It's actually a little bit cold this morning. It's about 60 degrees, but I'm sure it'll heat up as the sun begins to come out. The trail through this section is just really nice. It's kind of almost like a pea gravel combination dirt, but it's in good shape. It rained again last night, which it's like raining at night, and it seems only where I am. It did muddy up the trail a little bit, but if the trail stays in this condition, we'll be fine. Okay, so we got a tree down over the trail, but it does look like there's a way around it, so shouldn't be a big deal. There you go, thank you. No Take care. So I met that couple back at the campground, and they've been doing the trail for about 2 months now, and they're just taking their time and camping along the way. They hiked the Appalachian Trail through from Georgia to Maine last year, and after this they're going to head down to Florida and do some camping and hiking there, just kind of living the life. So kind of what's cool about this is you meet some pretty interesting people along the way. About 5 miles in this morning, and we've reached a point called Falling Waters, and this is where General Lee was trapped by the swollen and flooded Potomac River after retreating from Gettysburg. So check-in's not until 3 o'clock, and I left pretty early, so I've been stopping quite a bit today since it's a short mileage day. I'm just kind of relaxing and enjoying the scenery. It's very quiet out here. There's, once again, hardly anybody out on the trail, but it's been a good morning, perfect temperature. About 10 miles in this morning, and we've reached Lock 42. This would lower canal boats about 9 feet, and then right up there's another lock, 41, which lowered canal boats to the level of the Potomac River, which is off to my right. The canal boats would enter the river at that point for about a 3-mile journey through what's called the Slackwater, where the Potomac cuts through some cliffs. So we'll see that in just a minute. So we are right along the river now in what's called the Slackwater section. And the canal boats would have been in the river, but they still had to blast through these limestone cliffs to my left to create the towpath. So I guess what was happening along here was that the trail was flooding on a very regular basis, so the Park Service built these concrete structures off to my left up here that sort of hang out over the Potomac River. They go on for quite a distance, so that's what we're going to ride next. you can see why they didn't want to build a canal to my left. There would have been no way to do it. So they built a dam, dam number 4, which is further downriver, which created the basically almost a lake behind it, which we're looking at to our right, but that is still the Potomac River. And it kept enough water in it so that the canal boats could use it. So this was the canal entry lock. So coming off the river, which was back here, that mound of dirt would not have been there. The canal boats would have come off the river and into this lock and then continue on down the canal. So if I were to nickname this section of the trail, it might be Butterfly Alley. You know, it's just amazing. They're just everywhere. All of a sudden a dozen will pop up, and then you won't see them for a little bit, and then another dozen will pop up. We're 15 miles in now, and the trail is in perfect shape. And the weather has turned out to be just absolutely beautiful. It is perfect bike riding weather. Here we are at dam number 4. Just a little over 17 miles in, and just another picture perfect place to take a little bit of a break. These campgrounds are about every 4 or 5 miles, maybe sometimes 7 or 8 miles. They have restroom facilities, basically a porta potty, usually a picnic table, place to do a fire, and some flat ground to put up a tent. So just at about 19 or 20 miles in, the mud is back, and it's pretty bad. It's been a section here about a half mile long so far that's basically like this. Looks like they filled in this low spot here with a bunch of stones, but you know, they're sharp and they're fairly good size, so if there's any place to walk your bike, this is probably it. Got off the trail and I'm taking a little bit of a shortcut, a back road into Sharpsburg. It requires a pretty big climb up a hill. It's steep, but it's not supposed to be too long, so we're going to continue up this way and into Sharpsburg. So a pretty good climb out of the valley there into Sharpsburg, and added to that construction. But we're doing good. And we arrive in Sharpsburg. Here we are, the Jacob Rohrbach Inn. So this is the backyard of the inn, and beautiful setting back here. So the lower section of the house was built sometime between 1750 and 1780. The section I'm staying in upstairs, 1850. And then up the stairs into my room. There's actually 2 bedrooms and a bathroom for the evening. Beautiful.